Anyway, I think you can wear what you want on the weekend, Ryan, even if it is a skirt.
Hello. So, guys, welcome to the BTC Social. We were just chatting a little bit before. I like to wear skirts on a weekend. Before trading, I used to have a bit of a career. I used to dress up as Eileen and crack on.
Yeah, that's my stepmom's name, Eileen.
Is
That's
it?
a bit creepy.
I almost thought my comment got cut off there, so it just sounds like you spontaneously said that.
Looks like I just gone straight into talking about how I like to dress as a woman. So, guys, I've got to give full credit to Martin for this idea. Martin mentioned this a couple of weeks ago about getting us all together, basically, for a bit of a BTC social, because it's been a bit of a crap year. And he said, you know, it's you go down the pub, you have a laugh with your mates, you have a beer, and you have a bit of a chat. We haven't really been able to do that this year. And, you know, when you're down the pub with your mates, you talk about football, horses, tennis, all that kind of stuff. We thought, well, Martin thought, let's do it. So please do comment along. Let us know what you're drinking. Say hello. Martin has got some questions to ask that you guys have already sent in, but you're more than happy to, we're more than happy for you to keep them in the comments, keep firing them in all the time. They don't have to be trading related. If you want to know what dress size I am, I'm more than happy to tell you. And yeah, just enjoy it. So I'll hand over to Adam. Just let him say hi, and then we'll just go around like that.
Hi guys, I'm Adam. I'm the man responsible for all the software downtime. So I look after the website and the software at BTC basically. And yeah, it's good. This not often I come out of my little hole with no natural light and actually get to talk to people and talk to members face to face, so to speak. So yeah, looking forward to this. Hope you're all well. And yeah, let's have a drink and a chat.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Martin. You probably know me already from videos, but if not, obviously I help run the site as well. If you see me turn to the side a bit, I'm going to try and reply to some of your comments and catch the questions as well. But yeah, just looking forward to it. I think we should go round. I'll start and with what we're drinking. So I'm having a Copperberg, raspberry, and I've got also on backup strawberry and lime. So yeah, what about you, Ryan?
So I'm drinking a Big Wave Golden Ale. Quite like my IPAs, ale types. I'm currently drinking it out of a Camden Hells stubby glass because I absolutely love the Camden Hells glasses. These are really cool. Yeah, Adam, what have you got?
Well, I'm quite a discerning drinker, Ryan, and I like to make my own cocktails. So what I've come up with is my own take on a screwdriver, which is vodka and Robinsons. So cheers.
Oh, nice.
Do you say Robinsons, Adam?
Hey?
Robinsons?
Yeah, like Robinsons orange.
What flavour is it? Because it looks really yellow.
Yeah, it's just orange.
It's orange. Okay. I don't know if it's like lemon or something.
Just orange.
I'm not drinking my own urine yet, mate. Sorry.
These guys watching this now are getting a bit of a snapshot of basically what our meetings are like, aren't they?
Yeah. So I'm gonna just do some of the comments that people have been, because I've asked people what they're drinking on YouTube. Yeah. Punk IPA. Have you ever heard of that, Ryan?
Oh, that's a cracker, that.
You seem like you're into your IPAs, so you might have not heard of that myself.
Yeah, Brewdog. I love a bit of Brewdog.
Yeah, a bit of Elvis juice.
Yeah.
Ghost Ship.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Like it.
I feel like I'm in the dark here, not knowing any of these. Rattler cider.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, I've not had that since I was last in Cornwall. It's southern. Yeah, is it Cornwall or Devon? I can't remember. I think Cornwall. It's nice though.
Careful, Adam. They get offended if you get the wrong one round there.
I know. Yeah.
1664, which is Chris, which I assume is there. Let's have a look. Amstel.
Poof. Amstel always reminds me of the Champions League.
Someone's drinking water. Terry's drinking water, so I think I'm not sure if we have to block him from the thing here. No, you can drink what you want, guys. I'm really messing. Cup of tea. I hope there's a vodka or a Baileys or something in that cup of tea.
Irish.
Cup of
We
tea.
sound a bit like alcoholics here, saying this.
Yeah.
Vino, Tinto, ale from Suffolk. We shouldn't be having things from Suffolk, guys. Norfolk only, if you're around that region. But yeah, that's the beers. So, should we get on with the first question, Ryan?
Yeah. Go on then.
I'll direct it to you, as these are the trading relating ones. Well, actually, this is for all of us. So we go around. I'll start actually with this as well. I'll start with the answer and then we'll go around. What first got you into trading? This is from Billy. So what first got me into trading actually was that obviously if you're on the forum, you'll know that my dad does trading. He's a cricket trader, done it for, well, close to 20 years now. He left his job to do it. So it's very much a big part of our lives when I was like 14, 15 growing up. And yeah, I mean, I've always loved sport. So sport's kind of been my religion, you know. On a weekend, everything's always been about sport. I played sport all week. I watched it all week and then did it twice as much on the weekend. So yeah, sports trading was just something that, you know, I already had a lot of knowledge about sport. So I thought, well, let's just try and apply it to trading. And it made sense. And that's what got me into it. How about you, Ryan?
So I got into it by pure and utter chance, to be honest. Used to go to the bookies on a Monday gap between uni. Lad used to like to play the roulette, who I was friends with at uni, and I thought that was a bit daft. So I just used to bet on the horses. Wasn't very good at them, and I got chatting to an old boy and said, "Oh, if only I could pick a horse to lose." And he went, "You can, mate. It's called Betfair." And that was that. That got me started. And then anyone who, well, you guys know me, I've got a ridiculously obsessive personality. So when I get into something, I've got to know everything and I've got to get to the bottom of it and really, really get into it. So that led me down this this rabbit hole of trading. And now here I am, like, Jesus, so many years later. Yeah, that's me.
You're like Jesus. A bold statement, mate.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, why did you get started, Adam?
To be honest, when I got into trading, I couldn't even understand how betting odds worked. I had a friend of a friend who I'd heard about who was making quite a bit of money on Betfair, and he'd written his own software that linked up with Betfair's API. And that was the point when I decided, I just basically decided that I wanted a bit of that. And I taught myself how to program specifically for that. I couldn't program at the time, this was back in 2009, with the specific aim of writing software for Betfair and hopefully making some money out of it. So I spent probably about a solid year teaching myself how to program, and then, I don't know, another at least 6 months sort of playing around with different strategies and finding one that actually worked and started making money. So yeah, that's how I started out.
I think it's quite good because we all kind of, I think one of the things that works with BTC is that we all kind of complement each other. You know, we come at it from slightly different angles, and I think that's kind of why it's worked as well as it has. And we're lucky, really, that the three of us obviously get on so well. You know, because we live, and the other thing is we basically live, for people who don't know, we basically live in like 3 different points of the country, don't we?
Yep.
You know, like we cover quite a lot of the UK. I'm up in the northwest, Ryan's kind of the Midlands, and then kind of East Midlands. Then Adam's obviously more down south, kind of towards London way.
Technically the Midlands though, Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is it? I didn't even know that.
No,
supposedly, yeah.
I thought it was quite south, Milton Keynes. It's always a quick stop after I get out of London on the train. That's why I think that.
Yeah, they don't stay long there, though, in Milton Keynes, do they?
No.
Isn't there a lot of roundabouts?
No one does. Yeah, it's full of roundabouts.
That's all I've heard about Milton Keynes.
Roundabouts, concrete cows, that's what everyone knows it for.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, Wigan, everyone knows Wigan where I live because of the Wigan Pier, right? You must have heard of the Wigan Pier.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No.
It's not a pit. It's not a pit. It's just literally, it's basically like a little kind of mini pub museum, and there's a little bit of water, right? There's not really a pit, and so I think it's just the book has obviously made it famous. Maybe the book was a joke on the whole thing about the fact it isn't actually a pit. Maybe people know more than me. I haven't lived there for that long, probably about 5 years now. What about Lincoln? Anything interesting about Lincoln, Ryan? Other than that, I've been to the castle. You know, it's pretty cool.
The castle and cathedral.
Yeah, I love that castle.
Yeah, it's quite good. I quite like Lincoln. There's a lot here. It's like a lot happening. Uni.
I only know Wigan Pier for Spag's house, basically. He used to do a lot of DJ, and
Same.
yeah, it was a well-known venue for that kind of donk music at the time.
Really? Well, Northern Soul was really popular as well at one point. It was like, apparently, like the Wigan was just the place to be. You know, back in those days, there was literally like the biggest celebs always here on the weekends and things. So amazing, really. You know, such a small town.
Jamie's just said, what programming language did I learn first and have I changed? I think to begin with, I'd learned VB.net, if I remember rightly, and then I started playing around with a lot more Java. And most of the software I've written has been Java-based since, but then obviously kind of branched out into more web sort of front-end sort of stuff like JavaScript, and then Node.js off the back of that as well. So, yeah, sort of branched out a little bit all the time, but Java was the main thing that I started out with. So
there you go.
Cool.
Gone right over my head, Adam. That.
Yeah.
You could have been talking Klingon for all I know there.
Yeah. You could have just made all of that up, and I wouldn't be any wiser.
That sounds good. Terry's asked, when drunk, who was a social hand grenade? Now, I mean, I don't think I've been properly drunk for a while, because the last time I got drunk was at a Halloween party a few years ago, and it was one of those. To be honest, I was quite bored there. Like, it was quite a dull house party. Like, no offense to the listening, whoever hosted it.
Yeah,
but yeah, so it was one of them where you just drink too much because you're bored. Basically, you think that this will make it more entertaining. But I think the thing that like kind of put me off drinking too much was at one point I lost my wife Roz just disappeared, right? And I was like, where the hell's she gone? And I went outside, and she was like just walking off down the road, and like the M6, literally the M6 was facing next to this house, and we had to cross the M6 to get home. And obviously, you know, she'd had a skinful as well. She was literally staggering, right? And I was like, oh god, man. And so it was a pretty rough night in the end, and I was a bit scared at that point. So that's kind of quelled my drinking a bit since then. But I think I've had some Larry nights before. Not anything I want to sort of talk too much in depth about.
Same.
Right, next question. Let's see. Terry lived in Chorley. That's really close to me, Chorley. And Chorley's like a little town up here. And they just beat Wigan in I think it was the FA Cup first round or something, or even the quality. I don't know. Yeah, it must have been the first round, which is pretty low. I feel sorry for Wigan at the moment. Right, let's have a look. Here's one from Dan. Sorry?
So I was just going to say, Twitch is from Bedfordshire, not too far from me, representing the South, or the South Midlands.
I think that, the Twitch guy, I think that's Dan. And he said, do you think that when or if the world returns to normal, you'll be able to arrange a physical social? Well, we'd hope to. I mean, the difficult thing for us, and the reason why we've done this like this, obviously, lockdown has kind of given the main idea of doing it. But to be honest, this for us is such a good way of having a social with everyone, because everyone just lives so far apart who's part of Betfair trading community, you know. Like I say, we've got people, obviously, I know we've got people in Poland, we've got people in Australia, even people in Canada, America. We've even got a guy from South America who spoke to us last month. So, you know, and it's not just that, it's even in England and the UK, which where obviously most of our members are. You know, like I say, we all just live. I mean, you know, it's difficult even for us three to meet up, isn't it, Ryan? You know.
Yeah, I think I've only ever seen you in person once and Adam twice. That's it. And how
amazing, really.
And how many years have we been working together now? It's crazy.
It's the new normal.
Can we do it in South America?
Doing that, aren't they?
Yeah, can we do it in South America?
Yeah, I'd like to go social in Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one in Brazil. That's what we'll do. Let's have a look. Any more questions from the chat? I'm trying to keep up with the chat because it's going so quick.
That's good. Keep those comments coming, guys.
Someone lives in Saddam Hussein's old hideaway. Internet very poor. This is John, who's got a really good question for us that I'm going to get onto. Like, here we go.
Here comes the cat.
Oh no, it's a training question, and we've already been drinking a bit. I've been experimenting on Betfair recently on horse racing. Your thoughts on betting on Betfair covering guaranteed profit for the top 4 to 5 horses? I've had good results recently too. Oliver, that's from Oliver. Sorry, Oliver, I got a question for you on that. What have you been doing that's been having the good success on that recently? Like, what have you been specifically looking for with the horses? It's difficult I think it's difficult trading for 4 or 5 horses in a race. The only way I really would do that is with something like Lay the Field, where you're trying to just make a profit on each horse in the race if a couple go really low odds in running. But yeah, that's kind of what I'd do there. But yeah, if you want a proper in-depth answer to that, obviously email it over to us because we can go into that in some quite good depth with you. But yeah. So I'm going to go on actually to the question we've already been sent. So we've done the first one. The second one is what Roger asks us. He would like to know what info/form you use when trading, and if there's any information you would like but can't get at the moment. And I'll throw that to you, Ryan. Roger's question.
So just repeat the question for me.
So he's basically asking what like info and form do you use to like select your trades?
Oh yeah.
And is there anything that you can't get that you would want? So maybe software, things like that.
Yeah. First thing that I would want that I don't have is Bernard's watch, so I could go back and forward in time. That'd help me trading out a little bit. Everyone's going to be bored of me saying this, but for me, it comes down to this what has to happen question. So I think about what has to happen and then work back from there. So if we take a football game, for example, yesterday Liverpool were playing Leicester. What has to happen? Well, if I'm backing over 2.5 goals, there has to be goals. So again, what has to happen for there to be goals? Well, Liverpool need their top players playing. Okay. And then I go from there, and then I go, okay, there are assist makers playing, etc., etc. And then I also look at recent form of both teams. I also look at the venue. Do they turn up at this venue? Do they not? Certain teams have a history of not doing well at certain stadiums. But it's the exact same for when I'm trading tennis as well. It's like, is that player well suited to the other player? Do their strengths, weaknesses match? And that's it really. I just try and get like a picture of the match in my head, and then break down what has to happen for my outcome to be correct, and then go and find those things.
I think as well for me, because I think you've pretty much nailed that first bit. And for me, the second part of that, where what you want that isn't there, I think the thing behind BTC, kind of what we've always been building and what we're building towards, is a platform that you can get all the software you need in one place, right? So when we get things like the back testing, the horse racing, that are next on the list, it's going to be brilliant. And obviously we're going to keep, adding to that. And the idea is you just get one hub you go to, and it's got all your trading needs. And I think from a selfish point of view, I just want that for me as well. You know, okay, of course, we're gonna share it, and it's all gonna be part of the community. But for my personal trading, it's gonna do wonders for me. So, you know, that's kind of always been my drive.
Started out anyway. Like, it was like, my very broad answer to that question would be absolutely anything that speeds up the process for me. Like, I don't really enjoy the kind of preparation bit, or I'm sort of sitting down and figuring out what races to trade or whatever, and you know, that kind of labour intensive bit up front. So anything that cuts the time down on that, says, right, this is the race you're going to trade, this is the strategy you're going to take on that race. Yeah, speed that whole process up, and that's exactly where the football stat software came from, because I was trying to find ways of. I basically didn't want to spend the entire weekend trading when I could be spending time with family and stuff. Like, I wanted to trade, but didn't want to kind of want it to consume my entire life, and that was why I started writing software that would find the pick much quicker for me. And yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to try and do with the horse racing as well, in the upcoming software.
That's brilliant, isn't it? And that's the thing, isn't it? That's kind of the wonder of what we're doing here, is that it's going to benefit everyone, you know, even us. So,
just to jump in there quick, have you seen, there's this, I'll put this question up from Jamie. It's probably a good time to cover this one. When did you all join BTC then? If we're talking about like speeding up trading and stuff, which is probably quite a good story, really, for most people listening, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I joined. When did I join? It must have been about 7 years ago now.
Yeah, I remember, because I got this message from this guy joined the BTC group that was on Facebook, and he was all over the group, all over it. He was smashing trades left, right, and centre. Members absolutely loved him. He was chatting. He was giving some really good feedback and helping people out. And then I got this message from said guy. He was like, "Oh, just wondering if you want to meet up for a coffee. I'm prepared to come to Lincoln." Come to Lincoln in a Miami Dolphins zip-up jumper.
I'm on the Dolphins.
And it was just like, I love what you're doing. And yeah, I just love it. And I just thought then, this lad's good. And I'm going to have to definitely make sure I keep him around.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's good. It's interesting, isn't it? That I joined Betfair Trading Community purely based on the fact that I wanted a community of traders to work with.
Yeah.
You know, because doing trading for a living was just such an isolating job on my own. You know, I couldn't do that. I needed people to talk to, you know, things like that. And I think that's kind of why a lot of people ended up joining, especially in those days when we didn't have the software. Because, and then my next thing was, right, what if we can get all the software on here? Because we've already got the social network platform. You know, why not just make this the one-stop shop? Because one thing I didn't want to do was keep buying, you know, and people might find this still now and get frustrated. I don't want to keep buying different products from different people, you know. I just want one thing in one place. It's a bit like Netflix, right? I get annoyed that when good shows are on other things, and I'm like, come on, can't they just all be on Netflix?
It's just because
right?
you're that's why.
Just pay $7.99 a month and we just get everything. You know, I don't want to buy Now TV again. Yeah. I don't want to have. I mean, I've got Amazon anyway because of the Prime that my wife has, but you know, I just keep seeing these shows and other things. I'm like, oh man, I want to subscribe to it. Then I'm like, you just go down a wormhole then of just so many things you can subscribe to. And that's kind of what we're trying to be the anti version of, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, try and bring everything together. And then the same thing happened again. I had this.
Yeah, I think I joined in about, I'm trying to think when it was. It must have been 2015, maybe early 2015. And I sort of, I was a bit disillusioned at the time because I'd had a longish career in IT behind me, and I left it because it was basically just working constantly. And me and my then girlfriend, who became my fiance during the trip, and then my wife afterwards, we just ditched everything and went off to America for a year. And when I came back, So I was like, right, I'm not going back to a normal job now. And that was when I sort of committed to doing trading more full time. But it's like, it's just proper lonely. I was just sat at home all day long on my own, just clicking away. And yeah, I found BTC, and yeah, it was a cool way to kind of talk to other people about trading and like find other people in the same boat. Because none of my other mates had a clue what it was and understood it in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's just nice to kind of connect with people who are in the same sort of boat. And yeah, me and you got chatting a bit, didn't we, Ryan? And some ideas for them.
Yeah, this Man Mountain appeared one day in LinkedIn. Do you remember? This guy walked in and I was like, huh? What have I done wrong? It was like,
for anyone who doesn't know, Adam is very hedge, right?
Yeah.
And if you mess with us, we're going to send Adam your way. Right?
Yeah, he's an animal. He literally, I remember it. I looked up, right, and he was like filling this door frame, and he was like, Ryan. I'm like, I don't owe you any money. Like, what's going on? And then, yeah.
You wanted to recruit me to collect rent, didn't you, at one point?
I've got a question here, which is, this is from Mark. What is your favourite drink when trading? Please don't say tea.
I was going to say tea. Matcha tea, mate. Proper brain food.
Yeah.
And it's keeps you stimulated, but keeps you nice and calm as well and leveled out.
I just have like fizzy drinks, but like, you know, the zero versions, whatever. So I don't really care what. So like, I'll have like Pepsi Max or even just like the Tesco Physio stuff for like 50p. But I have to have ice. So I always have ice. And I always have fizzy drink. And I drink copious amounts of that stuff. It's so unhealthy. Not because obviously the calories, nothing in it, but just because the chemicals or whatever. And, you know, dehydrating myself because I should probably just be drinking water. But yeah, I love that. I don't know why. Rose is the same, my wife. So yeah, we get through so many. We're like the alcoholics without alcohol of those sorts of drinks. We always have those big 2-litre bottles, you know, loads of them piling up, ready to be put in a plastic recycling bin. Oh dear. But anyway, let's see any more questions in here.
I'm getting attacked by a cat.
Ryan's got his cat with him all the time, and luckily it's been quiet today. It was well annoying the other day.
Because I've not shut her in a room.
Right, okay, I'm going to go to the pre-questions that we got. Simon, this is Ryan, you might need to concentrate here, okay?
Right.
Now, it's not a question to ask after you've had a drink. Okay, if looking at ELO and other metrics, how do you account for late team news? You kind of talked a little bit about this, actually. Or local weather conditions that might undermine the assumptions you've previously made.
Cool. So basically, what I'll do in the morning is I'll be drinking coffee with the cat. I'll be putting together that list that I spoke about of that what has to happen. So is Aguero playing if Man City are playing? Is Kevin De Bruyne playing? Etc. Etc. And then before I'm doing the trade, say that trade's kicking off at 8:15. Right about now, I'm looking through the team news to just make sure that those players are playing and nothing drastic has changed. You know, if a player is pulled from the team or there's been a late injury scare or a late fitness test or whatever it may be, then I'll just be more cautious and just be more mindful about that. I might then wait a little bit to enter that trade because if I can see Aguero isn't firing, but he's just in because they need him to be in, then I'm going to be a bit careful about that. So it's just going back over those original notes and going, is my original hypothesis still correct? That's what I'm always asking myself. And that follows through the trade then all of the time, even in play.
And don't forget, it's okay just not to trade it as well.
Yeah.
Like if the picture's changed for some reason and your outcome or your what has to happen you don't think is there anymore, then like I'm a bit of a coward in some ways with trading. I just probably wouldn't trade it. That's okay. Find another game. With ELO specifically, like or at least the way we do them, we do weight them, you know, in favour of the more recent performance of the teams anyway. So you're sort of never working off a massively outdated version, but like you say, like really late you something unexpected happening, or starts pissing down when it was like it was going to be fine weather or whatever 2 minutes ago. That's an unknown that makes it unpredictable. And if it's that much less predictable, then you might just want to look at another match.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that I kind of have a kind of two-way look at this, because on the one hand, and I'd always tell people this, if you're trading a selection, you know, especially if it's not a selection you've made or it's not one of your filters, you know, even if it's the profitable members filters that we share, go and check that selection yourself if you want further clarification. But at the same time, if a strategy is a set and forget strategy, is profitable, it's doing well, has a good strike rate, sometimes I'll just go with it and go, right, it's set and forget. I'm going to do that strategy, and I'm not going to worry too much about other elements, because one thing I can do is overthink it, you know, and I know that. So I don't, because the thing with trading is there's so many little nuances that you could include in everything, isn't there? I remember when I first started on the horse racing, and I was so obsessed with, like, you know, everything, jockey, you know, the color of the horse, you know, does that make a difference? All this stuff, these little variable factors, there's literally tens of me. And then I was like, why don't people ever pay much attention to the jockey? You know, I couldn't understand that and things like that. But actually, sometimes you can almost over filter in your head, like you say, Adam, and then you end up not making a trade. Which obviously there's nothing wrong with leaving trade. As I've always said, you know, a no bet is more profitable than a losing trade. Right? Yeah. That's a fact, because zero is more profitable than minus money. That's just a fact. So move on to the next one. Matthew D asked this. I haven't said people's full name, just for, like, in case you don't want your name put out there publicly, by the way, guys. Is it a good idea to back over 1.5 first half goals and at the same time back under 4.5 match goals? So I can answer this if you want, Ryan, from my perspective, and then you can say whatever you want. I'm not a massive fan of these kinds of insurance trades, because the problem is, if you're backing over 1.5 and then you're backing under 4.5, the insurance is going to basically cut out any potential profit you might make. So I'm not a big fan of taking loads of different markets and options to try and insure your trades too much, because, you know, a lot of the time you're just going to be working on next to no profit in the long run. I'd say, why not back one of the markets that you're more comfortable with and then trade as that goes on, rather than trying to trade both of them. But obviously, to actually fully answer it, give us a bit more detail. Is this something you've tried? What tends to happen when you do it? Like with a lot of these things, my answer a lot of the time is test it and find out, right? You know, the simplest answer a lot of the time is just to try it out. Don't use money, paper trade, and find out whether it works. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, you haven't lost any money. So yeah, have you got any thoughts on that, Ryan?
I completely agree with you. I've never been a fan of having two sort of one main and then an insurance trade sort of going alongside of that. Mainly just because you're flitting between two markets all the time as well, and that in itself can be very, very sort of very detrimental to your trading. So I would look at getting I had to watch that the cat didn't eat my cable then, because that would be an expensive night. Yeah, I've never been a fan of doing that sort of insurance. What I would do is pick that one market, just like you said, and just absolutely nail that. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I think especially if you're looking to place them at the same time as well. Like, it's not like the glory days of Betfair where there's these massive discrepancies between basically the same outcome on different markets. There's that right now that there's not, to me, much point in placing those two trades at the same time. But the only exception is if you wait a while for movement in the odds, but that increases the risk.
Okay, brilliant. Right, I've got a non-trading question here, which is quite good. If you could star in a movie TV series, what would it be and why? Ryan.
Oh, I knew you were going to come to me first. I was buying for time.
I've got one. If you want me to go, I can tell you the one I want. I would.
Well, I'm like a toss-up between Game of Thrones and oh no, I've got it. Billions, 100%.
My dad loves that show.
I would love Billions. I absolutely love Bobby Axelrod. His attitude to life, money, everything is just so funny. I love it. I'd want to be in Billions, and it's also set in New York, which is one of my favorite places in the world. So that's me.
That is so you as well, Billions, that show. Imagine you living that lifestyle in about 5 years' time. You know. Madam?
Put me on the spot. I'll probably have to say, The Sopranos is what I don't know who I would be, but The Sopranos, because I love it, and I'm a bit of a mafia buff as well, like a US mafia buff. It's my little geeky little side passion. So yeah, I don't know who I would be. I don't know if I'd want to be Tony Soprano, but yeah.
I'm trying to think who you could be in the show. Who were the big henchmen in The Sopranos? That's what I'm trying to think.
There's that massive guy that Tony Soprano had to beat up for his dominance. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but I don't look much like him.
Why are you saying that with a smile on your face?
What, getting beaten up by Tony Soprano?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, it would be, I don't know who I'd be again. That's something I need to think about. But the show, best show of all time for me, Breaking Bad. Absolutely love that show. Yeah. Nothing's close to it. I mean, I love other shows, but nothing. You know, I must have rewatched it as well so many times. There's just something. There's something about when Walter just turns, into that world of being a drug lord. There's something so intoxicating about just the freedom and the just throwing off those shackles of the way he was, and just something. I always think it's really quite an inspirational thing to watch in a weird way, even though it's about such a bad thing that kills so many people. I just think if you ever need a bit of motivation in life and you're just feeling like down, and just watch that first episode of Breaking Bad, because just that one episode. If you don't like it from that episode, don't bother, because you won't like it. But yeah, I don't know who I'd be in it really. Maybe Saul, Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman. I love him, man. He's so fun. Actually, my favourite character, who maybe Adam could be, is Hank.
Yeah.
Hank Slater. The only thing with Breaking Bad is basically, if they had the NHS in America, the whole series would have no premise.
Yeah.
I'll get the chemo then.
Yeah.
No, he might get sick of the waiting times, maybe at the NHS. He probably wouldn't get treatment for about 2 years to start with, would he? So he might break bad to try and go to Bupa. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Right. Some people are given their own ones, which is quite good. Narcos, obviously,
great.
Similar to Breaking Bad, fantastic show. Better Call Saul as well. Peaky Blinders, classic, isn't it? Dungeons and Dragons. I actually bought a Dungeons and Dragons set the other day, but I didn't realize you need more than 2 players, because I thought like me and Ross could play it. It's like basically I never played it before, and I like Stranger Things, so I don't think it's going to take off. You have to kind of prep. It's like a game you have to really prep for. Like a board, well, not board. It's kind of like a board game, isn't it? But yeah, obviously Dan plays a bit of Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm a bit jealous of you, mate, because I'd love to be into doing something like that. I don't think I've got enough friends, so I struggle. I think maybe I can get Lucas. I can turn Lucas into an Uber geek or something. And he could.
I'm not playing Dungeons and Dragons with you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's kind of something I think I was slightly out of that generation who got into that, and then I never really got into it. But I got some birthday money and I saw it in a shop. There wasn't much else to buy, and I thought, that looks all right.
Matt said he had the Peaky Blinders haircut for a while. I'm assuming you mean like that kind of bowl haircut. This will blow your mind even more because I used to have that haircut as well, and it's even harder to imagine.
Well, you could get away with it, Adam. I think you could get away with being in Peaky Blinders. They did, some of them had your hair, and you could also have the cap anyway, couldn't you?
Love the suits. The style from Peaky Blinders is awesome.
Yeah, you can't have long hair with those hats. See, like my hair's a bit long. If I wear a hat like that, it just sort of goes off my head. The hair takes it away. Right, okay. I'm going to read some more questions from the pre ones. So I want to make sure we get through all these by the end of it. Here we go. This is quite an abstract one. If some sort of cataclysmic virus attacked all betting exchanges, such that only one sport was tradable, in this case football, and only one market existed to trade on this sport, which market would you want it to be and why? He said me and Adam could do different. So maybe you do horse racing, Adam. I'll put that over to you, Ryan, as football. What market?
Football, market, match odds, strategy I'd use, lay the draw. Boom.
Bang.
Keep
Adam?
Well, most of my trading now is automated, and it's just basically pretty much revolves around the UK win markets on the horse racing. So proper boring answer and a bit vanilla, but basically any UK and Irish races, just the stock standard win market. I suppose what I do is a variant of lay the field. So I basically trade every single horse like 1,000 times in a race. That's what I would do. Keep doing what I'm doing, basically.
Brilliant. I'm going to go left field then, and I'll say, and I'm going to go cricket as my sport. And I'm going to say the market, if I had one market in the world to trade, it would be basically the completed match market, right? On Test cricket, where you can bet on whether there'll actually be a completed match or not. Actually, it's not just on Test cricket. You can do it on one day as well. And basically, it ends up being on weather, trading the weather. So trading whether it's going to rain and things like that. And oh man, we've had some amazing trades on that in the community before. That market just seems clueless, and you can really make some money there. Okay, Beth.
Simon asked a really good question. He said, "What pre-Betfair match do you wish you'd been able to trade?" So, what football match that happened sometime way before Betfair existed do you wish you could have traded?
Oh, that's a tough. I'll tell you the one for me. I don't know what year this was, so Betfair might have existed just about when it. I don't think they did, but I certainly wasn't on it at that point. It was when Norwich played Birmingham City in a playoff final in Cardiff. So it was before Wembley was rebuilt. So it must have been 2000, maybe something like that. And I knew we weren't going to win, so I would have loved to trade because I went to that match and I could have gone, right, I'm going to trade it. I'm going to back Birmingham. And then, if Norwich win, I'm being elated. And if they lose, at least it'll be a little bit of comfort that I won the trade. But how we got to that final that year, I'd never know. And it was so obvious we weren't going to win it. And then, it went to penalties actually in the end. And Daryl Such, I don't know if you remember him, guy. Daryl Such stepped up. And when you just see someone step up for a penalty and there's no way they're going to score it. A bit like John Terry, really. But yeah, Daryl Such wasn't much of a goal scorer. And yeah, that's the match I'd choose.
I've got no idea. I just thought it was a good question.
It's a bit. Do you know? I'd probably go Man United by Munich. That Champions League final.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I hate Man United. Being a Liverpool fan, so I'll probably just upset a few people. So actually, maybe I'm the social hand grenade. But I think just imagine laying by Munich at that point. Just laying that and being, 99 as well. I'd have been like 11, 12. So I'd have been buzzing anyway. So yeah, I think I'd have picked that match.
Yeah, I think my problem. I'm not a big fan of Man United, and the problem for me is more that people from Norwich support Man United who've never been, north of Watford or whatever. So it makes me laugh. And then the worst part is I don't mind really if you want to follow another club or whatever. The worst part is when I see people I grew up with from Norwich cheering Man United against Norwich. It's sick, man. It's sick. There's something sick about that. So whatever. If you want to follow another team, as your second team, that's fine. But don't be cheering them over your home team. That's just wrong. It's just plain wrong.
They don't really need to cheer against Norwich either because it's a given as well, isn't it?
Oh, well, you say that, but we did beat them at Old Trafford not that long ago.
Well, I mean, at the minute, though, anyone could beat them.
What's his name? Tetty with a sort of scuffed shot that went in. It's brilliant. I had a chance to go to that game as well, and I didn't. I had free ticket. I was offered because I worked in Salford at the time. And they used to get free, tickets to United and stuff. And I wanted to trade. I wanted to trade that day instead. So I said no, I'm not going to do it. Oh dear. Anyway, hey, John's come on. One of our forum legends. Well, a couple of Johns who are forum legends actually.
Got some seriously good comments as well, guys. These are amazing. Just like sitting through reading these, like brilliant.
How do you set up automated trading? I say for that one, just email it in. We can go through that. That's a more of an in-depth question. What specifically are you after as well? Tell us that in email. By the way, our email is info@fairtradingcommunity.com. So if you have got anything that needs an in-depth answer, which obviously we can't do right now, we can do that then. I'm going to go back to the ones because I do want to get through these. Let's have a look. Did we do that? No, we haven't done. What Beth asks, which is good, our first female question. What do you do during international breaks?
Cry.
You, Ryan.
Cry. Because all of Liverpool's players get injured. So to be honest, I don't trade the football at all during the international breaks. I don't touch international games really ever. I'd rather Liverpool won a corner really than watch England at the minute. So, God, I really am a social hand grenade, aren't I? So, I really enjoy the big tournaments. I just enjoy watching them, and it takes me back to being a fan. Like takes me back to being a kid, because that's one of the things I've found with trading. I don't actually enjoy, apart from Liverpool, the rest of the football as much. So it takes me back to being a kid watching those big sports. And then there's also there's some tennis on as well, which is the other sport I trade. So I'm usually watching that, and then I just get back into whatever it is. So that's what I do.
Adam?
Pretty much the same.
Doesn't make much difference to you, does it?
No, but yeah, well, football-wise, most of my trading isn't really automated, to be honest. I'm kind of the same. I don't really trade those types of games that much. I think that's why we don't really feature them in the software as well. They're just a bit more unpredictable and less tradable for me.
I think for me, it's I get results done. I get my results done, recorded. I catch up on some of the stats work I need to do, and learning as well. I try and do more learning during that time. Maybe read some books, either trading related or just kind of life experience related. It's a really good opportunity. And the other thing you can do as well, which I do, is I make a conscious effort to spend more time with family and friends. Because, obviously when the football's on for the weekends and evenings for me, I'm not particularly sociable if it's football I want to trade. So, yeah. And again, to the next question here. While watching live matches, that's quite a good question. While watching live matches, how do you deal with the TV delay? So, Ryan, I'll throw that to you.
I just accept that it's part of the game, I've been at this a real long time now, like a real long time. And I just deal with it. It's part and parcel of trading. It's not actually that the delay isn't that bad for me. And a lot of the markets that I'm trading anyway are goals have to happen. So the delay doesn't really impact me too much, to be honest.
That's good. I mean, for me, I think it's one of those where I'm very wary of it, So I wouldn't necessarily base my trades based on the live pictures. I'm watching more just to get an idea of what's happening, But I'm not going, oh, look, the ball's down net and quickly get a trade on that they might score. Because I know that I'm going to be out scalped by people who literally don't have the delay, or people who are at the ground and things like that. So, yeah, I think it's one of those where I'm wary of it, but it just means that I'm a little bit more clever about how I go about it, rather than just trading exactly at that point what I see, getting a general picture and then going, right, okay, this is what I'm entering the trade. Adam, I don't think that would make much difference. Well, I suppose you would have the delay, of course, in horse racing.
Yeah, I mean, again, because I'm usually well out by a couple of hours before the race. But I suppose when I used to do a bit more scalping in the last sort of 10 minutes before a race, it did used to annoy me, the sort of different delays on different channels as well. Like, racing supposed to be a bit quicker than other races and all that kind of stuff. And the Betfair feed for horse racing are always like painfully slow and behind, and it does affect you and give you a knock, unless you get out a bit earlier, which is basically what I do. And most of mine's automated. Again, it's like I'm terrible for trading emotionally, and so my response to that was take the emotion out of it by making the computer do it.
Yeah.
It works better for me.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? You just kind of got to be aware of it. So Keith from the forum, guys, you'll know him if you're on the forum. It's a really random question, but I like it. Are ideas a product of the human mind, or are they an artificial technology?
Oh. I think we need to pass that question to our resident tech expert.
Thanks so much.
I saw your reaction and was like, whoosh.
We should have asked that question first before we had any more to drink. That's a proper mind bender.
Yeah.
Or before we had a bit more. I don't know how to answer that. I suppose the one thing that springs to mind, think about it, is that the brain is the only thing that named itself. There's another little mind bender for you. That's along a similar sort of lines, I suppose. I don't know if that's what Keith is getting out there. How would it be an artificial technology?
I'm just going to go with human mind on that one.
Yeah, human mind.
Right, now John's got a great question. I want to get this in before we close. Will Johnson from the Peep Show be there? Right, now when he first asked this, he just said, will Johnson be there? I thought he was talking about Boris Johnson. And I thought, we could invite him along, but I hear he's in lockdown again somewhere, like locked up in a room. But anyway, Johnson from Peep Show. Because John's big thing is that he thinks I look like David Mitchell or Mark from Peep Show, if you watch that show. Which, I'm not sure I subscribe to that, but whatever. And I thought, who could we be? So obviously, super hands would be Ryan. I mean, just everything about Ryan screams out super hands, right? And then, obviously, Adam, it's difficult to make actually. With Adam, I've gone for John. Obviously the white version of Johnson. So yeah, Johnson's here. He's sitting in the chair.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we got started, and we decided that I was going to be Johnson, but I've seen since that I noticed John had nominated me to be Jez in the end, so I don't know which is better. I think I'd rather be Johnson, to be honest. But yeah, Ryan's definitely super hands.
Oh wow, that's come down to me, has it? Stick with that. I think Martin's audio is playing up. It might be muted. Does that sound better now while Martin sorts his audio out? Oh God! Look at that view.
got the nose cap.
So it's just me and you now, Adam. While he.
Howdy, Dick.
We'll just carry on like this and wind you guys up for the next 5 minutes or so. Oh man! So is everyone enjoying themselves? If they are, give us a big thumbs up. Oh, here we go. Marty's coming back. He's probably trying to connect now with his Chromebook, I think. His Chromebook that he loves and takes everywhere with him. Here we go.
Thing is, I can hear what you're saying, you know.
That's better.
Well, the thing was, my phone was dying. I think it went into low power mode, and for some reason, it killed my sound. Although this is still not that great. But yeah, let's see. So we've got one more question from the preset, and then we've got 3 days, which is good. What are your hobbies, guys?
So I quite like long walks on the beach with Adam. No, I'm just joking. So golf, absolutely love golf. Big fan of that. I quite like keeping fit as well. So running, gymming, that kind of stuff. Big fan of reading as well. But I also just quite like just doing bits and bobs with friends or going for coffee with the wife or spending time with her. And also, let's not forget my numero uno, my little girl cat. Love that cat. So yeah, that's me.
And you got a real girl coming soon, haven't you, Ryan?
And you what, sorry?
You've got a real kid coming soon.
I've got a real kid coming soon.
You can chuck the cat out like we've suggested.
No way. I'll be out with the cat.
I was going to say, a lot of my hobbies went out the window when I had a kid. He's now 3, and my hobbies include trying to survive on not much sleep and trying to get him to go to sleep. It's other than that, I'm a bit of a fitness freak as well. I get in the gym pretty much every day, weights, running, music as well. I mean, too, I used to do a lot of DJing, kind of quite fast sort of rave music. I used to do a lot of scratching and beat juggling and stuff as well. I've kept that up as well. Still got my deck set up in my little office. This isn't my office. I come and with my wife today, but yeah, I got my gear set up in there. So yeah, fitness, music, like reading as well, listening to audio books when I'm in the gym. That's me, really.
That's good. I'm into tennis. Tennis is my big thing. Started properly a few years ago and just gone crazy with it recently. But yeah, since lockdown, not much is going on, is it? I'm big on NFL. So if you like NFL, come and chat to me. I can chat to you all day about NFL. But yeah, so we've done well because we've got through all the preset questions now.
You've seen Twitch 24 male UK looking for someone to help make me a successful trader.
It's Dan, Ryan. It's Dan, that guy.
Dan. Got it. So I'm like
Coops. I don't know if he wants to be called that, but Coops.
Coops. Some cracking ones. Like, who's going to win the league? Obvious, Liverpool.
Do you know what? I think it's a fantastic league here, isn't it? I think. I don't think you can call it. I think it's wide open as it's been in a long time. It really is. Sheffield United, someone put a bit harsh.
Ooh. Have we got any questions left on the sheet, Martin, or have we managed to get through them?
We've done all the questions, and obviously we've only got a couple of minutes left. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for being involved as well, by the way, because we didn't know how this was going to go. Obviously, we've never done this before, and obviously, actually, the live chat and all the good questions you've sent us have kept us really busy. Ryan? Have you had any thoughts about a winner for the trading question award?
I don't know. What do you think, Adam? Who's put the best question in?
I quite liked Daniel's about the cataclysmic virus attacking all the exchanges and what market would want to trade. Partly because it's quite topical, because the virus is basically attacking everything right now. But yeah, it just makes you think.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Dan, get in touch with us and we'll sort you out. What's the prize, Ryan? You know,
We'll sort you out. We'll sort you out. Yes, we are going to send them a selection of beers from Beer Hawk or of the like for asking the best question that they'll be able to enjoy and hopefully save a couple for another BTC social.
I'm going to do an award as well, just for non-trading question. But I just want to respond to Shane because he's given us quite a lot of technical feedback. And, you know, if you want some work as a technical assistant, Shane, we could probably do with it on our productions. And I like, I'm going to give my award to John, asking the question about Will Johnson from the Peep Show be there. It's between that and the question about what show would we be in. I just thought it was funny because it got me thinking about Ryan at Superhand, and that just sort of clicked. It really did just click when I thought of that. So yeah, and if that award's you, John, so get in touch with us. Either just use the usual channels or info@betfairtrainingcommunity.com. Obviously, give us the address details and we can send you the prize. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys, isn't it? Do you want to sign us off, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll just throw it over to Adam before I do sign it off for Adam to give his final word as well.
My final word. I was just going to ask one final question, which is what do you think we should do next time? Like suggestions on how we can improve things. I know one person said we should do it on Zoom and then we can kind of see everyone else as well, which is a good idea as well, I think. So yeah, any other suggestions? I mean, I guess you can just email them in if you can't think of anything now, but we'll definitely do this again. So any suggestions you've got would be appreciated. Yeah,
I mean, I think this has been an absolutely amazing night. Thank you very much, Martin, for coming up with the idea. Just absolute. It's just what BTC is all about. To be fair, you know, it's not just us guys that work together to make things better at BTC. It's all of you guys as well. You know, we really do listen to all of your suggestions, even when a wild Keith does appear. Just come with a comment.
Drinking games, John says. I think that's a good idea. Every time Ryan mentions Liverpool, we got to do a shot.
Oh, we'll all be battered. It's like
how much he hates Man United.
Yeah, it's my number one love. We could play BTC bingo, couldn't we?
Every time we cat in the house, got to do 2 fingers for the shot.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should do it. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for all coming on and for making this so successful. It was amazing to see so many people on commenting and enjoying themselves. We'll leave the replay up anyway in case anyone does want to watch it. And I just reiterate what Adam says as well. If you do have any ideas on how we can make these better, send it through and we'll do it. Every time Ryan says what has to happen to a shot again, we'll all be battered. So yeah, I think we'll sign it off there, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you were, it's like final orders now, isn't it? Hope you all finish your drinks, enjoy yourselves, and do remember to be respectful when you leave because we do have neighbours. And yeah, I'll see all you guys inside of the community. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks.
Cheers, everyone. Speak soon.